Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I think it's time to talk about the myths of cruising. Why people use these excuses not to cruise, and I'm going to prove that they're wrong. So, let's go over some of the myths in cruising that I think are absolutely untrue, especially these days. First myth, everybody says this, especially if you've never been on a cruise. Cruising is just for the elderly. Nothing can be further from the truth. Yes, there are some cruise lines that are set up for traditional, I'd say like Cunard is set up for an elderly audience with the old-fashioned shows, the old Broadway shows and classical music on board and the costumes and like very Atlantic City and Las Vegas from the 80s kind of set up with their shows. However, there are ships out there with surfing simulators, skydivers, go-karts. There's ships out there with bumper cars and arcades and Formula One simulators. There's all kinds of ships. I dare you to go on Virgin Cruise Lines and tell me that's set up for an 80-year-old person. The music and the vibe is for a younger audience. It's not for the elderly anymore. I do not know of a cruise line out there that I would say, yep, nope, young people are going to hate that because it's just too old. And I've sailed on cruise lines that everyone says, yeah, those are for old people. Holland America is a perfect example how some people say, yeah, that's just, that's an older audience's cruise. It's Holland America. It's traditional. No, not anymore, folks. The new entertainment systems they've been bringing on, the dance troupes they've been bringing on, all the music they play on their ships, plus top-notch food and service. Yeah, it may look like a traditional cruise ship as far as what you would consider an older crowd. It may not have the slides. It may not have the flow riders and things like that, but it's still a lot of fun. And there are a lot more younger people on Holland America than you would expect. And the music is to die for. That's one of the things I say, well, if you're interested in that kind of a cruise, lots of music, a variety of music, good food and service, then Holland America is a great cruise line for you. You have to pick your cruise on what you're looking for. If I'm a 20-year-old and I'm looking for thrills, I'm probably going on an Oasis class cruise ship or a Mardi Gras cruise ship. I'm going on something like that, right? If I'm looking for elegance and sophisticated and nothing but really good, I want really good experiences, food, I want top-notch service, and I'm looking at more like a Princess Celebrity Cruise, a Holland America, the next tier up. And then if I'm really looking for just service and destinations, I get into Seabourn cruises, Seven Seas cruises. I'm looking at Oceania. I'm looking at those cruise lines. There's always something for you. But if you just say, nah, cruising's for old people, I'm sorry, but you're completely wrong. Another myth out there is that cruising is just for the wealthy. Now, I'll give this to you. If you're wealthy, you can cruise in some amazing cabins and some amazing suites and get amazing perks. But guess what? When you go to the show, you can be sitting beside somebody who paid 1/100th of what you paid in the seat next to you. It's not a class system, right? You pay for what you get, but you can still go and enjoy all the amenities. Flow riders on Royal Caribbean don't distinguish between if you're rich or if you're poor. Going to the Aqua Show on there doesn't distinguish if you're rich or you're poor. You can still see the same show. You can all enjoy everything that's on the ship. You can still take the same cruise tours. And I've booked cabins for a 7-day cruise for around $700. Now, you have to look for some of these deals. Everything's expensive, right? Gosh, I just booked a 5-day Jamaica trip, and it's way more than I've ever paid for on my cruise, unless I'm staying in one of those luxury suites. So is it more expensive than land vacations? No. It might look like it at the beginning, but let's add everything that's into that. It's not only you get your food and your lodgings included, you also get all the entertainment on board as well. And while many luxury resorts may have a band or may have a casino, very few of them have full Broadway shows and go-karts and aqua shows and things like that on their ships. So no, I don't think that it's only for the wealthy, especially with brands out there like Carnival, MSC Cruises. You can get some really good bargains. Costa Cruise Line's another example out there. TUI Cruise Line's out there. You can get some really good cruises and cabins, and yes, if you were rich, could you sail in style? Yeah, but guess what? If I was rich, I could fly to my destination in a private jet as well. So, yeah, it's not that you can't do it. It's just that they can do it a little more in style. But every single person is welcome on a cruise ship, and you basically, once you're there, you don't know that that person's a billionaire and that person's a YouTuber. You can't tell, because they're all sitting side by side in the same restaurants, in the same entertainment, and playing the same game shows you are. Okay, before I get into my last myth, let me just invite you quickly to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you want to keep up to date with everything going on in cruising, from tips and tricks to, we're going to talk about the new ships, the scary ships, the big ships, and maybe just make your next cruise just a little bit easier. Yes, there are cruises out there that are a little scary to book, and I'll do a video on them in the near future. Another myth out there is, yeah, cruise ships have nothing to do. There's nothing to do on a cruise ship. Oh my goodness, if I had to go on a cruise ship, on a transatlantic cruise, and I'm spending 7 days at sea, there's nothing to do. Okay, well, let's debunk that one right away. First of all, what is there to do at your house? Right? What is there to do at a resort? Well, at a resort, I can go to dinner, I can go to the beach, and I may be able to do some water activities if I don't go on a shore excursion someplace. On a ship, you could do all those things exactly the same thing, except also during the day, they have hosted events, game shows, live entertainment in the theaters. Some ships will have a lot of activities in sporting events. Some ships will have classes like dance classes, cooking classes, they'll have lectures, they'll play movies, and then you have the ships with all the activities like the flow riders, the skydiving, and all that other entertainment that's on board. Water slides, like a water park. You have a roller coaster on cruise ships now. There's a cruise ship being built that has an entire fair, like circus, being built inside the cruise ship. It's not the Love Boat anymore. It's not 1970s. It's not small ship with nothing to do. It depends on what you book. There are so many varieties of ships out there, you cannot just say that there's nothing to do. And people who book a ship like, let's just say, a small Viking Ocean cruise ship, people know when you go on that ship, they're going to have a small entertainment on board, maybe a small Broadway show of some kind, but usually it's singers and a couple dancers or a band. But what they're doing is they're bringing you to destinations, and that's the key for their ships. They're also having impeccable service and amazing food on board, and that's why people are booking that ship. for that experience. But if you want things to do, well then I dare you to go on an Oasis class ship on a 7-day cruise and say there's nothing to do. Because it will take you at least 7 days just to watch everything that goes on, let alone experience it. Because there are so many things to do, and you can do that on many, many ships now. Go on the Norwegian Encore and have the go-karts up on the top deck. Go into the 4D reality. Go into the Broadway shows. There's so much to do. Experience the specialty restaurants. Everything is suited that, yeah, it depends on what cruise you're looking for and the experience you're looking for, as opposed to every cruise ship, there's nothing to do. Well, that myth is debunked immediately when you step on board a large cruise ship with a lot of activities. Yeah, those are the top 3 myths that I hear about an awful lot. And I have to say, I don't think any of them are true anymore. Maybe back in the 70s, but we're in the 2023, and no, cruise ships are not for the elderly. There's lots to do, and they're definitely not only for the rich. Let me know in the comments down below, do you think there's any other myths out there that I've missed? I just think that those are the 3 big ones. There's lots of other ones. Maybe I'll do another video on them in the future. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.